What's going on YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a non-live haul video. YouTube's having this deal where it's not pushing things out like it normally does, and there are a lot of people, I guess because they're at home under quarantine, are doing a lot of live streams. So I don't want to interfere with any of them, and so I'm just going to do this in this environment and put it out there, and hopefully the masses will see. So I did a Comic Tom mystery box unboxing. Check that out. Did it earlier today. And so if you have not seen that, go ahead and check that out for me if you don't mind, and hit the thumbs up button on that video as well. But I also got one of the last ones I needed for my X-Men run, X-Men number 9. That came in today. It's about a 2.5. So not very high grade, but one of these, believing that low grade is better than no grade. And for those of you who have been paying attention to either in the chats or IG or other videos, this weekend I did complete my Uncanny X-Men run, volume 1. There's a few that I need for volumes 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going to pick those up so I can say I just have all Uncanny X-Men. But the main goal, the big goal, was that picking up 1 through 544, which is volume 1. And so 9 was one of those that just kind of fell to the bottom of the radar. So I picked this one up. This one actually came from Canada, although this is a US version. And so the number 1 and the number 4 have been shipped. So looking forward to maybe getting those by the end of the week and be able to show those off. The last couple of ones that I've gotten, I got a number, basically I got the number, was it 11, or 11 that's got the Stranger first appearance. That one basically came for free with another book I had bought. But that one, the 4 and the 1 were all coverless, and that in the past has been something that I've shied away from, kind of one of those lines in the sand type deal. But with the expensive, how these books have kind of skyrocketed in price, I've started buying these reproductive covers. So they're reproduction of the original, have the original ads in them and everything, and so I'm going to send those off. I'm going to get slabbed. I know I'm not going to get super high grade, but on my wall I want to have like the first 25 as an example of Uncanny X-Men. Probably do the first 25. I'll look and see if there's a good clear cutoff. I can do it that way, but it's in my PC, and so that's what we do this for, right? Not for anybody else. Collect your way. Hashtag. Anyway, so I showed off the books that I got in the Comic Tom Mystery Mail Call. The big part about this is the box. The slabs came back. The slabs came back. Not the very next day, but pretty close. So I mailed these at the end of the week before last. Anyway, it was a 2-day turnaround. So for those of you who've been watching my videos, you know that I had, against popular opinion anyway, sent some books off to PGX. I said, hey, I'm going to give them a shot. I don't, of course, everybody likes CGC. I like CGC. Aside from their pressing issues, their cases are better. They're a little pricier, but you get what you pay for sometimes. And their customer service has been A-OK every time that I've contacted them about anything, finding out where the book's at and the status. Because I know you can go online and check if you've sent a book off under your account, but you can't do that if you submitted it at a show. So I would have to call. And they've always been quick to respond to that and been nice when I called. So no problems there. I have hesitated on using CBCS in the past, a couple of reasons. One being I don't like their cases. I hear that their cases are about to change, so maybe that will change for me. But I also am aware of some issues with the company that owns CBCS, not talking about Beckett, the company that owns Beckett. So that purse strings, so to speak. And so I'm not going to bash them. It's not their fault. Their being CBCS. It's just a company that now owns them. So hopefully nothing ever comes of that, but maybe not. So sent to PGX. One of the things that I liked about PGX was that they would evaluate my books, and should I choose to go ahead and go through with the grading, they don't charge me anything. And if I decide I don't want to do the grading, they get charged like $5. But I can just send the books up there, and they can say, hey, look, this will take a press, and if you press this, it's going to be a higher grade. And so based on that, I'll say, don't press it. Don't, you know, so I worried about, okay, well, they're just going to tell me everything needs pressing. They did not. They said, okay, this is not going to help it. Let it go. So I really appreciated their honesty with that. They were about the same turnaround time as CGC, and from what I hear, CBCS is, and that was about a month. So when I got the book back, though, it was a Batman 251, iconic Neil Adams Joker cover. It was autographed. And I got to looking at the slab, and there was a hair in it. And I was like, I don't really like this. Matter of fact, I mentioned it on a live stream. And it was funny because I had contacted them about it. And on the live stream, I'm just dogging PGX out. Saying, man, they're not, you know, humans make mistakes. So we all make mistakes. The difference is, what do you do with it once you realize you've made the mistake? I could not initially get in touch with them. Email them, contact them, send them a message on IG with a picture of the problem, all this other kind of stuff. Finally, they did contact me back, and it was they finally contacted me back. We played telephone tag for a little bit, and he told me, he said, well, you know, you could kind of move the little thing open and kind of, I said, I can't do it, and I'm not going to do it. It's not, it shouldn't be this way. Fix it. He said, fine, that's fine. Send it back to me. And I said, so I'm paying you to send me back the book you messed up. So he said, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. Send a book back with it. We'll do a 2-day turnaround on it, on both of them. And I will send this one back to you. And you get the other book graded for free. So I said, So I decided to press my luck. I said, so I sent the letter with the package saying, hey, I appreciate you being willing to take care of this. And so you told me to send a book. So that's what I'm doing. And here's the book. And I want to press. I want you to validate the signature on it. And clean it if need be. So, which he did not agree to on the phone, but to their credit, they said, no problem, we'll get all that done. So they did that. And for those of you who know, this is, they charge extra for signature verifications and all that other kind of stuff. So they could have said, no, we agreed to do this, and it's said and done. So I firmly believe that if you're willing to dog somebody out when they don't do right, you got to be willing to praise them when they do right. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. And I know some people are going to go, oh, PGX, this. And hey, look, if you've ever used PGX and you've had a bad experience, put it out there. But if you're just hearing about what other people say, I've heard people say stuff about PGX, and I don't know it would be true. I don't know those people from Adam. I just know from what I've dealt with them, okay? They could stand a little business acumen, okay? From what I understand, it's only a handful of them up there, and they're doing their thing. Living the American dream, right? Putting a company together and bootstrapping it. But the thing about it is that grading is subjective. CGC, CBCS, whoever, is all subjective. You catch the person on the wrong day, and they're going to give you a grade that you don't think you deserve. And for the most part, both CGC and PGX, and those are the two companies that I personally have used, have been fair on the grades. So if you've watched my earlier videos when I first submitted to CGC, I did not do that, so I learned my lesson. So I undergrade or tried to undergrade, and they have been either on the money on the undergrade or a little bit above. So that tells me that either I'm harsh on my grading, or in my mind I'm undergrading, but I'm really grading right. that makes sense. So, so this was the book that was messed up. They had the little hair that was up here, and so they have. So they package theirs a little bit differently inside the seal inside there, but because I've seen videos that people have cracked these things open 3 different times, sent them to the 3 major grading companies, and come back surprised, where PGX was the harsher grader, or where CGC was the harsher grader, or CBCS. It just depends on the day, people, and it depends on what you want. If you want high resale value, and you know. If I have the money when I go to a con, if Corona ever lets us have another one, if I have money to go to a con, yeah, I like this yellow labels. I think it's a standard of excellence in the community. You'll get more money for your books, but sometimes that's not the case. You go to a con that doesn't have a CGC table, so what do? Okay, I don't like the pink labels that CBCS puts out. I don't like the green label that CGC would give it. So to me, the viable alternative is PGX. And, you know, they got kind of a label that kind of differentiates it. I like this better than I do the CBCS logo. But so they fixed the Batman. So the one that I had sent to them was a classic X-Men 50. So I got this signed by Jim Steranko earlier this year, and yeah, so the only con I've been able to go to this whole year, and so I'll tell it back one or two. This was a book that I picked up at actually the same place that I picked this one up, and the guy sold it to me as a low grade. I felt like the cover still presented fairly well, and I said, I want to one day get Jim Steranko to sign this book for me. And so happens there was a con close by, went and got him to sign this and several other books. So this is the iconic label change that they still use today. Jim Steranko says that he created this X-Men logo. This is the way they still use today. Before that, it was this logo here. So this is the first issue where this changes. Classic Steranko Polaris cover. So it's a 4.0. It's good enough for me. It's got his signature on it, makes it better, and now it's preserved. So it presents really well. I actually, before all this took place, I had actually thought about sending this to CGC. I did say that I don't like the green labels, and typically I don't. But however, with this book and the colors, that green label might actually pop a lot better. It's one of the reasons that I thought about using is it EGS, the other grading company. The thing I don't like about them is the stickers on the side. I know that they're there to prevent people from tampering with the book, but I just don't like the way they look. And they've got this big sticker over here. It's going to block that. So everybody's got their own personal opinion. And that's the great thing about this hobby. You got flippers, you got old school collectors, you got new collectors, modern age. You got people that like slabs, you got people that like raw. It doesn't matter, you know, at the end of the day, collect your way, right? Two Brothers has probably got a patent on that. I better watch how I say that. Anyway, but that's been my experience with PGX. More than likely, I will send more books to them. If I have, because I like a lot of signature books. And so especially if they're worth something more, I'll like to get them slabbed. And so I like their signature verification and their stuff better than I do CBCS's look. Maybe that changes with their new case. Who knows? We'll see. But CGC, if I got an option, all things being equal, I'm going to go with CGC, just like everybody else. It's really the second alternative, right? And everybody's got that. And I think most everybody's that way. I think CGC is everybody's go-to company. That's probably one of the reasons they're not willing to upgrade their services when it comes to pressing. I told them myself, I said, if you just verified signatures outside of having to personally witness them, and if you did faster pressing results, you could put the other ones out of business. I think they got more than enough business that they can handle. Sometimes you're a victim of your own success and can grow too fast. I think maybe that's what CGC's issue is. But nevertheless, that's been my experience with PGX. Feel free to comment down below with what your experiences have been with PGX or some of the other grading companies. And be sure to click that like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There's another video on my channel called the 400 subscriber giveaway, where we talk about some books that we're going to be giving away randomly when I reach that 400 subscriber mark, and you can of course help that happen sooner rather than later by making sure that, one, you're a subscriber, and two, you have to comment on that video, I want to win or I want to win, on that video, the 400 subscriber video, in order to make that happen. So 18 years or older, you don't have to be in the continental United States, but you do have to be a subscriber, and you have to comment in that video that I want to win or I want to win in order to be entered to win. And if you want to win or have a chance to win sooner rather than later, share this channel. Appreciate the comic book community. These are going to be trying times. I think that we're just now seeing the edge of it. Now, I'm personally of the opinion that this is overblown, but nevertheless, there are a lot of people that believe the sky is falling. And because they believe the sky is falling, it is falling. And so now we have a situation where Diamond is going to discontinue the distribution of books. It's my understanding that Diamond really hasn't been all in that great financial shape. So is this their way out? Maybe it's a positive. Maybe this is a new way for another distributor to get in and start distributing right. And we put Diamond in yesterday's news. Who knows? But I do know this, that there's going to be a lot of changes, that we're just seeing the starts of it. The repercussions from these shutdowns and layoffs and all that kind of stuff, we're not going to see for 2 or 3 more months. And then it'll start getting real. The positive thing is that if you've done your homework and you put yourself in a good financial position, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of great books. There's auctions going on all the time on YouTube. You're going to see more on eBay as people who did not maybe put themselves in that great of a position have to unload books for less than what they would have liked to. And so you'll be able to help them out by buying their books, but you'll help yourself out by getting a good deal on them. And so it'll be a win-win. So be looking out for that. Keep yourself in the right financial position. Keep your eyes on what matters, all right? And family and health, okay? This other stuff is for the birds. So that's my 2 cents worth. They say advice is worth what you pay for it, right? You didn't pay anything for it. But feel free to comment down below. I appreciate the comic book community, appreciate all my subscribers out there, and look forward to giving away some books when we hit that 400 mark. Until next time, keep reading and keep collecting.